Hi, I'm Mark Burgstahler with Line6, and we're here at Bananas at Large today to talk about some of the new sound equipment from Line6. Line6, a lot of people asked, what are these guys doing in live sound? I mean, aren't they a guitar effects company? And actually, the brain trust at Line6 has been involved in some pretty groundbreaking products for other companies as well for years, such as the Alesis ADAT and the Oberheim OB8 synthesizer. So rather than just a guitar company, we think of the company more of a music technology company that brings solutions to the musician to make his life easier and make music better. So into that landscape comes the new Line6 StageScape M20d digital mixer with touchscreen mixing capability. This is pretty much a paradigm shift. What the M20d is it's a 12 XLR 4/4 inch and other inputs, 20 total inputs on this, with a touchscreen mixing interface, built-in feedback suppression, 4 fully stereo effects engines with processing, setup, recall, etc. So it's a completely different way of looking at mixing live sound. So let's take a closer look at this. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the touchscreen interface on the M20d. Up here is my input panel, so I'm going to explode that for a second so you can see it better. And I'm just going to take my mic cable and plug it right in. And look what happens. First thing that happens is a mic stand appears on stage because it knows I plugged a microphone in. And it automatically loads a series of processing and EQ and things that I would normally use on a vocal mic. Male vocal, lead vocal. I have a complete gallery down here of things that I could do. I could turn it into a kick drum mic, anything I wanted to. So just plugging in a regular microphone creates an icon which I can take, move it around on the stage, put it wherever I want. And I'm not just creating a picture. Again, I'm creating an entire suite of processing of effects and EQ, compressors, etc., etc. And I can create presets that are custom and name them, Doug's vocal or wherever I wanted to do that, so that every time Doug comes to sing with the band, I know that I'm going to call up his microphone and it's going to have the preset that makes him sound the best. So the next thing I would do is, well, how do I tweak it? Well, let's say when your drummer says, Mark, can you make my kick drum sound more punchy? Well, if you're not an experienced sound person, you may not know where to start. So the first thing you would do is you touch the icon, and then you press the button over here called Tweak. And then you're presented with basically an XY pad. And the XY pad lets you use words that you typically would use in trying to describe sound. So for instance, I just put my finger on here and I go, okay, I want to make it brighter, brighter, brighter. No, I want to make it darker, or I want to make it deeper, or I want it to have more body. And you just kind of drag your finger around until it sounds the way you want, and then you're done. You can also go in here and adjust punch, which is your compressor EQ. So on a kick drum, if you want your kick drum to sound punchy, you just drag it over to where it sounds punchy. And then it also has a complete suite of effects, like I mentioned. So I can go in here and add some reverb if I want. There's some delay settings in here as well. So all these things are really easy to access really quickly. In addition to that, there is a deep tweak mode. And if I go into deep tweak mode, I can really get in and get under the hood and adjust things. So if I was to do that, then I could grab this with my finger and drag it around and create the same kind of changes in sound just by how I drag this thing around. Now, when I'm in my quick tweak mode, these changes I make with the XY pad are reflected in the deep edit mode, so I can always see what I did. So it's sort of a way to learn how to run live sound as well. In addition to that, I have a recording feature built in. So recording, there's 2 types of recording. One's called quick capture. So let's say that my drummer wants to go take a break, needs to have a sandwich or something, and I want to record him for a minute. So let's hook up a kick drum and I'll show you how we could do that. Okay, so what I've done now is I've just taken some recording of some dry drum tracks. No effects on them whatsoever on my iPhone here, and I've plugged them into 2 channels here, but I've combined them and created a stereo channel, and I'm calling it a kick drum. Make it a little bigger so we can see it a little bigger. And then let's go ahead and play it and let's tweak it a little bit. So now my drummer's playing and he really needs to go take a break because he's tired, wants to get a sandwich. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record him using the quick capture that we spoke about. Alright, so now as he's playing, and I stop. Now that's the loop I just recorded. So you can record up to 20 seconds of all your inputs so the entire band can play and then they can split and this loop will continue to play and I can go in and tweak it. Okay, so let's adjust the tone, shall we? Let's make it brighter, darker, deeper. Let's put some reverb on it, shall we? Oh, maybe that's too much. This is not the 80s. So that's quick capture. I can record my entire band and then do the sound check. And if I plug in an improved router into the USB port here, I can do everything from an iPad. We have an iPad app that will be shipping with the mixer that's free. And you can download the app, put it on your iPad, and you can sit out in the audience and mix the live sounding using the loop of the band while they take a break and go have dinner before the show. Conversely, I can also take it on stage and do my monitors. So how would I do my monitors would be the next step. We'll get to that in a second. So regarding recording, the other thing I can do is I can hook up an external USB drive or USB stick or an SD card here and record up to 12 inputs, actually up to 20 inputs of audio directly to a USB device without having to bring a computer. So all my inputs are recorded at 20 individual uncompressed 24-bit WAV files on my media, which I can take into my popular recording program, whether it's Reason or whatever, and do my live recording. So I don't have to bring a computer to the gig, I just plug in something to the USB port here and all my inputs are showed up as individual WAV files. So, live recording with the console. Let's talk about monitors. So let's put a monitor on stage with my kick drum, shall we? So we're going to look through the monitor, or through the gallery. Here's a monitor, so I'm going to drag it up and put it on stage. Now I go to the monitor page here and you'll see that there's a little series of triangles circulating around that monitor. So that tells me that's the active monitor. So my drummer says I need more kick in my monitor. So you just touch the monitor, highlight it, and then you just turn this knob and you see the lines going between the drum and the monitor telling me I'm turning up the level of that kick drum in the monitor. And then down here is my master monitor level. Controls the overall volume of this monitor. So that's how I can do my monitor mixes. Pretty simple. And then there's performance mode. And in performance mode, all my inputs show up as individual channels on these faders here. You can also create an entire scene and save it, so the next time that band goes into that nightclub, you've got everything saved. And you just take your iPad out and sit in the middle of the club and mix it, or go on stage and do your monitors. So let's load a setup just to give you an idea. We'll go to the setups here, and here's something that I loaded up. The band. We'll load this. And there's a setup with the entire stage. So I have an acoustic guitar, electric guitar, a little drum set I put together, and a singer, and a bass guitar. And in performance mode, here's all my individual level controls for all those inputs. And that's the M20d StageScape digital mixer with touchscreen mixing capability. So when you hook everything together over the L6 link is where the magic really starts to happen. I can use the mixer with anybody's speakers, I can use the speakers with anyone's mixer. But over the L6 link, things get really interesting. I run one network cable from the output of the mixer to the subwoofer. It automatically sees the sub and knows it's a subwoofer, and it's only going to send it the sub bass frequencies. Then I come out of the network, out of the mixer to one of the speakers, and it says, oh, I only have one speaker connected, so that must mean that I'm going to sum the stereo. So it takes the stereo inputs on the mixer and sums them to one speaker. As soon as I hook up a second speaker over the network, it goes, oh, you must be Mr. Stereo, and it routes everything stereo. Then I come out of this into another speaker on its side, and the mixer goes, oh, you're on your side, you must be a monitor, I'm going to send you one of the 4 monitor signals. So that's the dream setup, shall we say, for how this all hooks together over the L6 link. So that's the new live sound series of products from Line6. Come on down to Bananas and check this out. You really have to see it and hear it in person to experience everything that we talked about today. Thanks for watching.